Hey guys, how you doing today? Well, today I'm going to talk about living in a van and money. There's various aspects I'm going to address. So let's talk about money. As you know, recently in the previous video, I had the situation with ICBC taking my van. Remember that? And it ended up being a really good thing because they took my van and they said it was unrepairable for the price that the auto body place is going to charge. They're going to charge $2,800. And when I was talking to ICBC on the phone, they said that's likely going to go above $3,000 by the time it's all said and done. And you know, they know better than I do. This is kind of their expertise. This is kind of my first time dealing with something like that. So, so they said we're just gonna give you a bunch of money. And I thought, oh gee, that's kind of scary. How much are they going to give me? Because I was trying to actually sell it. I was getting the bumper fixed to sell it. And I ended up getting way more than I would have sold it for, than I could have sold it for. I ended up getting $3,100, $3,100. And I was going to try to sell it for about $2,500 to $2,200. And I was willing to go down to $2,000. $2,000 was my lowest. So, yeah, so it worked out good. I ended up getting an extra like $900 or, you know, $1,100 if I would have went to my lowest price. So people saying I live in a communist country, how come the socialist insurance corporation's taking my van and blah blah blah. Yeah, they did, and that's what they do, and that's, for me, it worked out to the benefit. So speaking about money, what I did with that money, well, side story to that is that I had my credit card company phoning my ex-wife's place where I used to live, of course, and they actually called my workplace, and I just said PC Financial. I'm like, what the heck? Why are they calling me at work? This is sounding quite concerning. So as soon as I figured out that they were calling me at work, I called them and I said, hey, what's up? And they said, you haven't paid your credit card in 2 months. 2 months? Uh-oh. That was a total oversight by myself. I got no one else to blame but myself for that. And I have no excuse. Basically what happened was, I'm usually pretty good with it, but I got so many bloody passwords. I'm sure you guys are all in the same boat. I do all my banking online, and I got so many passwords, and I just started a new bank account, and I can't remember what the old bank account number that I was used to use, and then I got online passwords, and I couldn't remember the password when I was about to pay it. I said, oh, I'll do it later. Well, then I forgot about it. So then I got a call saying, you're 2 months overdue on your credit card payment. So I took that check from ICBC for $3,100, and the final balance of my credit card was just over $2,000, just rounded up to $2,100. And I just took that ICBC money and I paid off the entire credit card, which I've done many times in the past, where I've you know, had paid off my credit card, and now once again I have zero debt. I have no debt whatsoever. No mortgage, no credit card. I only have one credit card. I don't have any bank cards or other bank cards or Canadian Tire credit cards or gas cards. I don't do any of that. One of the ways to keep it simple, keep on top of things, is by just having one card. It's easier to keep track of. And then, even then, I didn't keep track of it. So I know myself, and it's better just to have one card for me. So, so yeah. So I paid off my entire credit card. I have zero debt whatsoever, none whatsoever. And I had money left over after paying my credit card off. So I topped up my emergency fund, which was down to $7,600. Now it's up to $8,000. And I'm not touching that. That's in a completely separate bank. and that money is not going to be touched. Unless I decide I'm going to buy something major for the van, or the van needs major work, then I will touch it. But it's emergency money for a reason. It's meant for emergencies. So as much as I can, I'm going to try to avoid it. And then I still had $600 left over after paying my emergency fund up to $8,000. So now I'm going to save that $600, and I'm going to save it for stuff to buy for the van, like the fantastic fan that's going in the roof, and various other things I'm going to have to buy as I continue to build it. So, question some people say is, how much money do you save living in a van? Well, for me, you can, if you're living in a place with high rent, like Vancouver or places in California, apparently have a really high rent too, you'll save as much as you pay for rent. More than that, you'll save bills that you would have to pay while living in an apartment, such as power. Up here, what's called BC Hydro, BC Hydro is actually one of the cheapest power companies in all of North America, because we get our power from hydro, which means they use dams to produce hydroelectricity. And so it's actually quite cheap. It's like, when I was living in the condo, it was like about $50 every 2 months. So that's pretty cheap. But the condo strata fees included heat. So we just had to pay for electricity and lights and stuff like that. Anyway, getting off topic. So when you live in a van, you don't have to pay for electricity. So that's another thing you don't have to pay for. You don't have to pay for internet. I do pay for internet in my phone, and I have everything all as a package, and I pay quite a high amount, but it's just the way it is. Up in here in BC, we pay a lot of money for our cell phones. I pay $75 a month, which gives me 3 gigabytes of data, and I can talk in the evenings after 6, and I have like 300 minutes a month I can talk on the phone during the day. A couple other things. But so cell phone, I would have to pay for that anyway if I was living in a condo or apartment. Then what else is there? Well, let's think. Cablevision, I didn't have that anyway. I got rid of cable and stopped watching TV in the year 2000. I just find TV to be a waste of time, and it's just corporations trying to sell you stuff. And there goes my social democrat point of view again. But so Cablevision, I don't pay for that. I haven't paid for that in a long time. Heat is the big one that I do pay for in a van, but it's really not that much. If I use 2 propane tanks a month, that's $30 maximum. That's in the coldest months of the year. I haven't refilled my propane tank since like February, and now we're almost into June. So I mean, there you go. So over a period of a 4-month winter, I'm not going to be paying more than $120 a year for heat. I guess I better move my butt here. Just sitting there. So yeah, so the question people say, is it really cheaper living in a van? And in my experience, yes, absolutely it is. It's definitely cheaper. Now, the places you can get into trouble is with food. Because I don't have a fridge, it's so much easier to go out and just buy food in a restaurant or a food court or whatever, have a falafel or a burrito or stir fry somewhere. It's easier, and really it's only about $4 or $5 more, and I know that adds up over a month. I mean, that'll definitely add up to a very much higher cost of food for the month. But it's not that much really, and I kind of just factor that into what I call my spending money. I give myself a certain amount of money to spend per week, per month. I'm gonna have to do a budget video. This is not a budget video. This is just, can you save money living in a van? And the answer is yes. Now, keeping in mind also, okay, so food is the big one. Now, the other area you're going to spend more money in and living in a van is gas. I'm spending way more money in gas than I used to. I used to have a Honda Civic, and I spent about 20 bucks a week, $80 a month. This van is more, this is a Chevy 3500, Chevy Express 3500. This van, I'm spending about at least $100 every 3 weeks. It's more likely to say $150 a month, which is like, what's that, $70, almost double what I spent on my Civic. And I don't really drive that much. I drive maybe 400 kilometers a month. So gas is going to be more expensive, but I'm going to pay that anyway. So I'm not going to pay that much in gas, but I'm definitely going to pay if you have a car, you have to have car insurance. So yeah, living in a van is definitely cheaper. I've saved up a lot of money, and considering that I spend 39% of my income on childcare, I've still managed to save money. But that's partly because I don't want to toot my own horn, but I'm pretty good with money in terms of saving. I don't have any bad habits. Like, I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't smoke marijuana. I don't go to a bar and drop 60 bucks. I just don't do that. It's not my thing. I don't think there's particularly anything wrong with it. It's just not what I do. I try to buy, as a minimalist, I try to buy good quality stuff, but it's getting hot in here. So I heard the other day on the news that the average Canadian is $21,000 in debt. Now, $21,000, that's for personal loans and credit cards and stuff like that. It doesn't include mortgages. So considering I have zero debt and I have a substantial amount of money in the bank, comparatively speaking, I'm not doing too bad. By the way, I love this song. Can you hear it? 10th Avenue Freeze Out, Bruce Springsteen. One of my favorites. So yeah, I don't spend a lot of money needlessly, except for food. I could definitely save money. And once my kitchen's in and the van is built, I won't be eating out nearly as much. I'm guessing right now I eat out 4 or 5 times a week. Well, maybe 3 or 4, because I eat at least twice a week at my ex-wife's when I'm there looking after the kids. Anyways, guys, coming up to, like, how much time is this? 14 minutes. I've been blabbing on the whole time. I hope you found some of those comments useful. If you're thinking about living in a van and money is a concern, once you pay for it and pay for building the van, pay for the van itself and pay for building the van out with the materials and stuff you're going to need, like the heater and the fan and stuff like that, it's definitely cheaper. So thanks for watching. Take care. Have a good night.